Good morning. This is JC again. We're using Alternet streaming news service. I want to emphasize the importance of this. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is what protects you against pernicious business practices. I'll give you an example. There's a rule that is under the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau that protects you, and it was put in under the Biden administration. And what it says is that medical bills that you can't pay cannot be put on your credit report in any of the credit bureaus. It protects you from having to having your credit wrecked because of a devastating illness. In 2008, I had a MRSA infection in my knee. And MRSA infection is very, very dangerous. It is especially dangerous and fatal if it gets from a localized area in your body into your blood, which is called a systemic infection. And if it gets into your blood, it may very well kill you. Several people have died, famous people have died from MRSA infections that went systemic into their blood. And it cost me $29,000, 6 weeks of antibiotics, 4 hours a day IV, for 7 days a week, $29,000 to keep the infection local and get rid of it. And that was in 2008 when my company went under and I lost all my clients and information systems. And I had to file bankruptcy in 2009 because of the $29,000 in medical bills that I had. Well, the medical bills now can't go on your credit report. And so that $29,000, I had to do a bankruptcy to get it out of my credit history. And it took 7 years for the bankruptcy to fall off. So it fucking ruined my credit. So the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is very good, especially at helping you fight what are called trade lines. Trade lines are items that are put on your credit report. And if you have negative trade lines, like late payments or other things that impact your credit score, the Consumer Federal Protection Agency can help you with respect to getting those items removed. And they can even fine the collection agencies for putting them on there if the collection agencies don't do it right. And one thing I've learned is that once you get a collection agency off of your credit report, they immediately wait 30 days and turn around and put it back on. So it's just a rotten, dirty way these collection agencies work. Once you fight and get it off, next thing you know, they put it back on 30 days later. And here's the problem. When they put it back on, it looks like a new item. So if you've been fighting it for 2 years, it's an old item. But when they repost it, it's a brand new item, and it impacts your credit again as a brand new item. So the Consumer Protection Board is very important. Listen to this. It won't take long.
Financial crisis, fired official lays out, pernicious, impact of Trump on swing state. Published by Alternet. Attorney General Dana Nessel warned Monday that Michigan consumers would be left without protections if the administration of President Donald Trump is successful in gutting the Federal Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Because court rulings in 1999 and 2007 significantly restricted the state's ability to defend consumers from deception and price gouging under the Michigan Consumer Protection Act, Nessel said Michigan residents are reliant on the federal investigators at the CFPB. Unfortunately, My office can now no longer rely upon this once dependable and powerful partner to protect Michigan consumers, Nessel said. Their decision to strangle the CFPB has a particularly pernicious impact for Michigan consumers, who don't have the same state-level consumer protections that their neighbor states do. Nessel is one of nearly 24 state attorneys general who filed amicus briefs last month asking a federal judge to block the Trump administration from defunding the CFPB after the administration told employees to stay at home and refrain from doing any work. According to a report released by the Center for American Progress in 2023, the CFPB took action on more than 90,000 complaints from Michigan residents. Former CFPB Director Rohit Chopra, who Trump fired in February, said at the press conference that the return on investment is a model of government efficiency. The agency, which is tasked with overseeing the financial services and products used by everyday Americans, was created after the 2008 collapse of the U.S. banking system. Chopra warned that dismantling the agency could create the conditions for that to happen again, noting that states do not have as much power to come after big banks. Defunding this law enforcement does nothing to protect citizens, and only creates the conditions for another financial crisis, Chopra said. He said the agency is essential for coordinating among states and ensuring that any gains for consumers are felt nationwide. Federal law enforcement helps get money back for everybody, Chopra said. I don't know if it's efficient for there to be 50 different lawsuits against those firms or 50 different investigations. But Chopra said the dismantling of the CFPB has introduced new energy in state governments to strengthen their own consumer protection laws. State Representative Kelly Breen, D. Novi, said Democrats in the Michigan legislature plan to reintroduce a package of bills to restore some powers to the Attorney General under the Michigan Consumer Protection Act, and a case before the Michigan Supreme Court seeks to overturn the previous rulings that limited the law. Everyone is noticing that if federal law enforcement essentially rolls over and plays dead, the states are going to have to flex their muscles to make sure that their own neighborhoods, cities and towns are not harmed, Chopra said. Michigan Advance is part of States Newsroom, a nonprofit news network supported by grants and a coalition of donors as a 501c3 public charity. Michigan Advance maintains editorial independence. Contact editor for questions. info@michiganadvance.com.
There you go. I was born in Detroit, and I am a Michigander all the way, even though I am J.C. St. Louis's oldest living hippie. I go by that moniker, and that's because I spent a lot of time in the 60s in St. Louis, Missouri, and in San Francisco. But Michigan is my home. I was born there, and I'll probably go back there before the end of all of my time on this earth. So that's it. We're in trouble. I just had a lawsuit filed against me. In that lawsuit, I won, but they did not take the trade line entry off of my credit report. So now I got to fight with them for that. So every time you turn around, you got to pay a lawyer to fight these collection agencies, which are the filth of the earth. They're scumbags. This is JC saying, Pox and more, Jack. Keep on trucking.